Well, thank you, Ambassador, for being in our studio. We're very pleased to have you. You know, you wear many hats. That sometimes I don't even know how to properly define you. But now you're also Director General of the Brace Commission of the South-South, which when it was formed, I really hailed it and saluted it. I thought it was magnificent. And then, especially because they had somebody of your stature and caliber, to head it. How is that going so far? What's the principal mission, first of all, for our viewers to understand the Brace Commission? What's the principal mission of it, and how is it going so far?
The principal mandate is to foster the Brace Commission. By the way, Brace is an acronym for Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo, and Delta states. Yes. Now, these are very contiguous states in the South-South, which is part of the larger Niger Delta, states. But these are the core Niger Delta states. These are the states in the South-South.
Absolutely.
They are very contiguous.
When you're saying that is the exclusion of like Ondo and some
exactly,
of the others.
They are they are very contiguous.
Yes. From
Rivers to Bayelsa is probably less than with a good road, and the roads are coming. It's probably less than an hour and a half
from Port Harcourt
to Yenegua, yes. And from Port Harcourt to Yo, probably yes. A little bit 2 hours, yes. and the rest. Now they came together. They realized the importance of forging economic cooperation and integration, yes. Particularly focusing on issues of economic development that's cut across the states. They appreciated the fact that with a region so well endowed and yet so underdeveloped, that working together in concert, yes. Yet they could accelerate their development. And this was what the commission was established to do, to look at regional issues, regional projects, and to conceptualize this and see how we could run with this. And that's exactly what we are trying to do, looking at the core of what we could describe as major regional projects that the regions could collectively, deal with, maybe in close contact with one another, or maybe in close association with the federal government. So
let me ask a question here. Now let's look at it internationally. If we were to look at analogies, is it analogous to, let's say, the World Bank of the South-South, the United Nations of the South-South, or the IMF of the South-South?
I would say it's more like a miniature yes. form of the European Union. Okay. Because the European Union is, or ECOWAS, by the way, which okay. is very close to you here. Okay. Because the European Union is devoted to economic cooperation, mm-hmm. And integration of Europe itself. Yes. And you could see how long it's taking them to forge
so
that.
So the end will be you have a common parliament, you have a common
we're not thinking
administration.
We're not thinking that far yet. Okay. When the European Union started, they didn't think that far yet. Okay. The major thing is first of all to deal with the economic issues, okay. to focus on regional development and to see what we can do collectively as a region and make sure that development in that region is at par and we are all growing at a very good, rate and doing the same thing. So that's exactly what the commission.
And who would be bringing the money? How would the money be assembled for a commission like this?
No. For example, it will
by subscription, or how do they do that?
No. By just like any other organization, yeah. members pay. Yes. Pay to keep the secretariat going. It's based in Port Harcourt. Yeah. But when it comes to doing things, regional things, it depends on what you have to do. For example, we've been talking for a long time on a railway line that runs from Lagos to Calabar. Okay. Now, as of today, rail development in the country is within the purview of the federal government, which now leaves us with working with the federal government and the southeast states and the southwest states, because the rail is going to run through almost 18 states. Okay. So there's a need for collaboration, between the states yes. and the federal government and the private sector that we hope to bring it into the equation. So that's exactly, what we are working on now.
Is that very long term, especially if it is on the exclusive list? Except maybe this conference now might put it on the concurrent list.
We don't even have to bother ourselves about whether it's on the exclusive list or it's in any list at all. What we need to do is to face the reality, one, that we need a rail in the southern sector of the country.
Okay.
The second thing is that we can work out, which is what I believe in, that we can work out a form of cooperative venture that involves the federal government, the states, and the development partners and private sector.
Yeah. The states in the commission, well, states that own the commission, have they tried to look at their advantages, their comparative advantages, their endowments? For example, say if you're Delta, here Delta, we're talking about Delta without oil or beyond oil. No, have they looked at certain competencies that they have, certain endowments that they have, and said we will leverage these endowments and then look for investments that will complement them?
No, I think they are doing I think they are doing that. For example, every state in the region is actually thinking seriously about the future without oil.
Yes.
And they are looking at agriculture. What we have proposed and which the governors have accepted is the fact that let's look at our strength and our weaknesses when it comes to...
But do you have strength in agriculture? Where do you have land in Bayelsa?
No. Look, here's the deal for all of us. In agriculture, we have the capacity to be the oil palm belt of the country. Bear in mind that in the 60s and the 70s, before oil became the mainstay of the Nigerian economy, oil palm was one of the main
particularly in the Edo Delta.
No, particularly in the eastern region, which is part of So what we have advised is that all the states can successfully grow oil palm as part of the mandate of the commission. That is, as part of the economic cooperation, everybody grows oil palm. Then you now look at two more items or products that you have a comparative advantage, and then you focus on that. For example, Bayelsa State can do extremely very well in aquaculture. Okay. So you can make aquaculture number one in Bayelsa State. Bayelsa State has the capacity to produce banana.
Bananas, I wanted to say that.
Yes, banana. Yes. So you can now focus on the production of banana, and build the value chain in terms of banana. Yeah. River State is investing a lot today in a plantain. So you then, what they call Cross River is doing a lot today in cocoa as an extra to what they are doing in oil palm. Yes. So if we can get all this done, in the next 3-4 years, these regions will actually be earning a lot from agriculture.
Ambassador, why I asked that question about comparative advantages and questioning looking into agriculture is, what about tourism? What about manufacturing? What about things like trade? For example, like the type of things that we have in Dubai, where you have big time regional malls. And I'm not talking regional in terms of Nigerian regions. I'm talking in terms of Africa. So we have a West African big time mall. All these in say Port Harcourt, Calabar, someplace, and people come from all over the place instead of going to Dubai. All these, like in the vision of Duke when he was looking at Tinapa.
But you saw what has happened to Tinapa today. Look, let me put it this way: in terms of tourism, for example, I believe that Cross River State has actually gotten it right. I was at the last carnival this December, and what I would love to see is to see us from the region, make that a big event, even a bigger event than it is, in which everybody from the region participates. Yes. And to make that happen means that we have to revisit the road structure as it is today. Develop a fine, massive, road network that will enable me to take my children from Port Harcourt under 2 hours, go to Calabar, enjoy the carnival. By 10 o'clock, we are back home. We can sleep at home and the rest of it. But they've gotten it right. Rivers State has its own Reef Carnival and the rest of it. What I think we need to do in terms of that is to synchronize this and make sure that one can detail into the other. Yeah. And so when you have visitors coming into the country, they can actually go through one or two, you know. But what you talked about the rest, the comparative advantage, these are going to be the offshoots of what we are trying to do now. Look, when you develop this Niger Delta, corridor that we're, it's going to, apart from the oil facilities, it's going to include manufacturing, facilities and so on that we create jobs, because each of the petrochemicals and so on, they definitely would, across the value chain, all the manufacturing will be there. So at the end of the day, these are things that will come in as offshoot. Look, if we create if we improve agriculture and build a value chain, part of the value chain is the manufacturing, the processing of some of the
but that's exactly where I'm headed. But why don't you just go to Benue and get the yam and get all the other things and go to Plateau and go to Kogi, go to all these different places, get their things and you manufacture them, you process them. So you are known as the person with expertise.
You can even process. To start with, process what you even produce to start with. Okay. So again, it has to do with the political, not just the political will, but the political understanding of the advantages you have, and coming together and agreeing. Is it in fear
that in case something happens to the nation, at least you have plantain and banana to eat?
No. Look, no matter what amount of plantain and bananas that are produced in the South, it's still going to be exported out.
Must you have political harmony? By that I mean have one political philosophy throughout the South to have good, genuine, transparent cooperation. For example, should all the South states be PDP or APC for you to have this kind of understanding and harmonization?